Hello, YouTube. We are here to do the water signs, and I'll probably put a spelling error in it, but I'm in a hurry, okay? I need to get the messages to you. I have things to do. I've got people to see, places to be, people to see. Okay, there was a number that came through. I do need to interpret to you. Now, some of you might be seeing threes. I have been seeing fives and sevens. Now, just before I came to you guys live, I was seeing 311. And I do feel for you guys, this read's going to be pretty important, water signs. Now, we have just had the eclipse in Cancer. There is also the residue frequency of the conjunction with Saturn and Pluto. So still this month, there's the themes playing out. And I wanted to come to you guys and give you a mid-month read. I will be doing Earth and Fire tomorrow. I may even come back tonight. I'll see how I go, time frame wise. But I like to really seep into the energy, sit there quietly, and potentially these are going to be a regular thing. Now, I've pulled your energy, but one thing that did come up was 311. Now, spiritually speaking, I do feel for you guys mid-month, pertaining to home, family, work, all of those areas and everything relating to what is coming up with you guys. Hi, Dale. The interesting thing is, what comes through with 311 is if you have to make a choice to do with what you love, who you love, you're going to make it. And this is this push-pull dynamic. Now, you're going to understand as I channel this message. It's really a lot of heart chakra, and it is about people in their ego potentially seeing things from a very boxed-in, compartmentalized way of being and seeing. And I have mentioned that definitely do look at owning your Capricorn frequency within your own life and take on the vibration, even if you're not a Capricorn. With the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, it's asking us to look at different things, move towards, hi Dale, Happy New Year. It's moved towards the energy of being a go-getter. Now, yes, we do denote that, the Capricorn energy in the tarot is the Devil card. But again, it also from a higher frequency is go-getter. They're on their A game. They're going to get things done. What I'm getting coming through for you guys, water signs, especially pertaining to the eclipse and the Saturn and Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. What's moving through now and coming up, there has been energies external to you in an egoic sense, having an opinion about what you should be doing as individuals. I do find tuning into your energy really deeply, very reflective. You might be having ascension symptoms. When I say ascension symptoms, when you're meditating, you can become quite tired. You can receive headaches in your third eye, tension. When you're releasing it, you'll have symptomatic symptoms, which can be sweats, thirst, how do I put it, fatigue, and then suddenly it's like everything's fine. Now, obviously, if you need to go to a doctor, I'm not a doctor, go to a doctor. But the ascension, as per se, you have the downloads, you have the egoic process through the third eye, tuning into the situations. Now, you guys have been looping. Not because you aren't growing, but because some people's energy have been getting you to go down old memory lane with scenarios. And potentially there can be some situations in your life that you're looking at and you're having direct understanding, you're moving through them, you're having compassion, but at the same time, you're not that energy. So you have tried to find in different situations a solution to the dilemmas at hand. They can be pertaining to, your employment. It could be also people's perspectives. And you're really changing. You're really getting to a point. You're going inside and you're checking in with yourself. Now, in your life, your crowning energy, you've got this card, okay? You've got the Three of Pentacles. Now, this is where, this is where a person's mapping. And from this perspective, it's really looking at from the point of view of, hey, an epiphany moment of, wow, how did that just happen? How did we get here? That was not the plan. And I was laughing about this earlier because I happen to have rising and moon in Cancer. And I mentioned this to my partner this morning. I said, it's funny how life goes. Now, it's not, some will be like, oh my gosh, how has this happened? Others will be, didn't quite turn out the way we thought 2019 was going to turn out. Also through the eclipse, the epiphany moments, that during eclipse, our ego sometimes, it's like we're looking at Penny Little. The eclipse is here. What's going to happen? And we're looking at the house placement and we're looking at it and going, oh, some energies will be triggered as heck, but that's the Mars energy. It's also our wound placement. We always need to be mindful for the next 8 years that it's in Aries. So where does that fall in your chart? And I have linked the videos. I will link the video to these for those of you hitting this channel that don't know much about what I do. I connect them with the astrology. I have, with the general reads, connected in various placements of what planets are going to be activated. Now, the only way you can get a direct knowledge of where that falls is by going on to a calculator, and it will form it for you to tell you where these placements are. Otherwise, you can come to me and I can work with you on that. You can go to an astrologer. But I do hone in on the energies of what potentially can come up. Obviously, with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, there are themes that have been playing out since probably before 2019. And they're going to change over, but they're still going to continue through 2020. You're looking at how some potential things didn't come around full 360 the way you thought, but it hasn't completely showed itself to you yet. There's more surprises to come. Some of you are deeply accepting of that. You're just going with the flow, rolling with the punches, taking it the way it comes. You got the Four of Pentacles in reverse. You know, people were robbing you left, right, and center. Now, this doesn't have to be at a financial level. You might financially be looking at things and paying it forward, doing what you can, not tuning in too much about lack mentality. You know, when we tune into our bills, for instance, especially January, and we said this aspect, we're on water signs. When you're looking at the aspect of your finances and your spirituality, especially if you're getting triggered, you know, with the conjunction, it can denote changes. And obviously in society at a financial level, a lot of paradigms with employment is changing. A lot of financial pressure is coming. So the way you're looking at it can be a bit triggered. And naturally so after New Year's, Christmas, for those of you who celebrate, you know, it can be D-Day. It's like, oh, look at the bills. Come on, we're going to man up, woman up. But at a spiritual level, this is coming through in a reflective state of looking at the past and looking at how what you know now versus what you knew back then, and potentially where some of your power you'd given away. You may have been a bit too tolerant towards individuals milking you for six. The give and take out of balance. And this is really where the give and take had been out of balance. Other people's energy aren't perceiving it this way. And those are people around you. This can be your family members. It could be an ex. It could be your work, your boss, co-workers through jealousy. So potentially they're looking at you and they're going, in their mind, they're thinking you're not giving them enough. But potentially in the 3D, it's about a formed habit that has come about. Where in a mindset, yes, for them it is different now because your vibration's changed and they're not used to it. So potentially if you guys have been used to people actually taking you for granted, and this would have resonated with you in your frequency of where you were. So if potentially you've had the epiphany moment and you've looked at things and you've gone, okay, I used to give to this person quite a bit, but the give and take was out of balance. This lesson has been learnt for many. And after the fact, we can't really do much about it because it's a learned thing, right? We've formed a habit. Some of you might have been giving to individuals to a point there was an expectation. Okay? Yeah. Although I'm feeling for many of you, this is more an epiphany. It's been done, right? So you kind of alchemized it. You're looking at it and you're saying, I'm not a cup that doesn't empty. I have to fill my cup, and I feel you're drinking from my cup a little bit too much. It's this, how do I put it? And you know, there's verses depending on what you believe spiritually, and I look at various texts. It's greed. It's the greed to the point where it's quite one-sided, and people have had an egoic experience with you, and they've been looking at you going, oh, your cup's full. Can I have this? Can I have that? And you're being overwhelmed by so many things that you dealt with in 2019 that reaching this point now, this is a changed frequency. And you're looking at it going, what's that term? I'm begging and I'm borrowing and you're giving it back and forth, but it's doing a loop. So you've stopped this and you're like, whoa, hold up. No. My name is and this has been something that come through this morning with all the zodiac signs. More from a spiritual point of view, what's her name? My name is no, my number is no. But this is more from a spiritual point of view of healthy boundaries, okay? And you're looking at it going, you may feel I'm being unreasonable at you, but the mirror is really coming through in the collective at the moment, where people aren't perceiving it because they're too busy looking at the other individual saying, no, but you haven't done this and you haven't done that. And what's actually happening is they're talking about themselves, but they haven't paused to stop and look in the mirror. So this has been something of a formed habit they've had with you, water signs. And now this energy of the lesson, you've made peace with it. But there's the adjustment state of that now. It's a bit like a spiritual war. You came to peace with it. You made the healthy, balanced adjustments. You checked your P's and Q's with your books, and that can be spiritual. It could be physical with your bank. It could be with people around you, with your life. I'm seeing it as life. And you're going, hold up. No. Now the individuals need some time to adjust to that, but you've got no time for that. You're like, look, it didn't turn, hey, peace out. It didn't turn out the way it was supposed to. And this is a very peaceful feeling. It's like, look, the way I'm seeing it, I tried. I had a very hard lesson. It didn't turn out the way I thought it did. Now I'm retracting my offer. You got Page of Swords. Now, there could be a situation where they've got way too much time on their hands. You could have some people around you who and you also need to be busy with healthy things, with healthy people, with an active mind. You have an active mind, you will definitely learn. You will definitely, unfortunately, trigger other people. But at the same time, there could be an individual you're dealing with that is very flighty, very manic, right? This manic energy is affecting your frequency, and it's quite repulsive. You're like, look, I've got things going on. I've got too much going on. I don't have time for this BS. You're going that way. They're trying to take you down memory lane, and you're like, pages can sometimes be younger. So it could be a younger person. It could be children. It could be someone that needs to be checked for allergies for food, which is what I'm tuning into. Managed, it's healthy, but it also can stem from obviously imbalance in the chakras. But this person's external to you guys, water signs, okay? This could be someone who's directly related to you, and I'm feeling it's more that. It's a direct relative, which may have an imbalance going on, but it's also I'm tuning into people who are taking you back to the old frequency, and you've like, I've learned those lessons, I'm not going there. These energies, you're deeply reflective of it, and you're like, I know how you operate. I'm watching you. But there could be some very harsh, healthy boundaries being formed with these individuals. Okay? And it could be more than one person. This is really what I'm tuning into. I feel you're flowing, but it's really weird because even tuning into your energy, you're so... When I say you're all over the shop, that's not bad. I mean in a balanced sense. You're all on it. You're on your A game. You're looking at the 5D of many various areas of life. I mean, you're going to get tired, but I'm feeling you flowing through it. It's like you've woken up and you're looking at things and it's making perfect sense. And it's like all of a sudden, you know, when you have this flash, and some of you might, I've had this happen. And I should really get back to those stories about some spiritual things that have happened with me. When you've had a shock situation, it's like your eyes, everything's flashing before you, and you get the ringing in your ears. That really happens when I faint. Yes, I have low blood pressure, so that happens at times, not all the time. But you can sometimes actually step outside oneself and be elsewhere simultaneously as here. That's really what I'm picking with you guys. You're looking at the past, and it all is going to start making so much sense to you. So you're seeing why these people are relating to you this way. You're very detached, looking at them going, I've been where you've been. But I know even when people talk to me about the way I was, it didn't help because they had to learn a lesson in a very unique way. And this is your take on this direct situation. You're like, you can't teach what has to be lived. It's a shared acceptance of it, and it's a frustration. You've reached this point because you're sheerly frustrated. Know which way you had attempted to assist with these individuals to change the dynamic. Did it change anything? So you've reached a point where you've had no choice but to step back and to allow them to learn a lesson, because it's like playing chess and nobody's there. But they're playing the game and you're watching, but they're saying you can't play. But I'll go over. No, you can't. You've got to sit there. So there's no, and it's not about winning. This is not about winning. This is about growth. This reached an end cycle but never ended. And it's been a never ending, not nice story that has been looping on repeat like a broken record. And this for you in your life, you're tired of the broken record. You've picked another track. You've picked another deck. And you're moving on. And it's interesting because I'm literally using another deck of cards. Moving along. Two of Swords in reverse. Crap's going to go down. This is where you're like, right, I've tried to play nice. I've tried to play your chess game, which I didn't want to play because I don't like playing games. And I can relate to this because I used to use this as an analogy, and I can't talk properly because I've got an abscess in my mouth. Self-care, papes, okay? This is what's going on with the Cancer moon. It's like feminines be checking themselves and going, you know what? I've been giving my power away. And this is what's going on through this read. I forgot. Hey, we're tuning into water signs. So with this, when you're looking at it, what I'm getting, Two of Swords in reverse. You're like, even if this breaks the peace by me making a decision and standing my ground, I'm just delaying the inevitable. If it's going to get nasty, it's going to get nasty. So it's like you're saying, look, I'm not going to go quietly into the night. If you come at me, I will tell you, and you probably won't like what I have to tell you. It's not so nice. I've looked at my shadow. I've looked in the mirror. Even if I don't tell you, you're going to realise this epiphany without me. Like a ghost, I'll be gone. It's a broken truth, okay? So you're looking at it going, I won't go quietly if I have something to say. And I always say that about myself, actually. I'm not the type of person, and I think Giggle knows this about me. We've seen the good and the bad, and so is Jen and Luciana of me, and Darry and Mark. I'm the type of person through my spiritual growth, and many of you have come to this point, that when you reach a certain point of growth and you do work on yourself, it never ends, never ending story. If you have something to say to somebody, anything you say in a public forum, i.e. YouTube, anywhere else, directly towards a person, if it's said to another person, I have no fear in saying that directly to the person's face, because that's integrity. It's like if you've got something to say, I always check with myself. It's like, do I need to work on this? Is it something I need to look at? But when you know that person can't do that work, I don't hide in the shadows anymore. So if I've got something to say, I'm a straight shooter. This is where you guys have got to. You're like, look, I have not tried to make this a pretty picture. This is not a pretty picture, but I've tried to do the best you can. I'm speaking from your point of view to try and find a truce, try and find a balance in this. Let's bring this all together. We can't go back down memory lane, but this person is holding you like on a guillotine. Like, because you did X, Y, and Z, they want you to pay the penance, but you paid your dues. Okay, now you're wanting to press the reset button, and they're like, no. You try to do everything in moderation. You might have been at extremes before, but you're testing your patience. So I'm telling you, it feels like testing your patience, and it's the give and take. I'm being drawn to a few things on the card, and I do read various ways. On this occasion, I'm tuning into it from the energy and from the imagery on the card. Now, there is a lotus flower right there. I'll try and get the lotus flower, and she's got 2 cups. Bad angle because I'm using my phone at the moment. Now, the 2 cups, the give and take, the balance, okay? Doing everything in moderation. This person doesn't do anything in moderation. These energies do things in extremes. So you were attempting to tackle a lot of tasks, to tackle a lot of areas in life. They don't do anything in moderation. Now, what is shown to me is while you're doing that and you're balancing yourself out, the lotus flower is very much to do with both the water, the emotions, and the healing within it. So there is a karmic situation that's going to come about. It doesn't necessarily mean it's happening to you. And I very much do feel it's a closing out of a cycle connected to the Cancer moon, the Capricorn nodes, the conjunction, because Pluto definitely is connected to births, deaths, endings. We're ending decade cycles. I mean, 500 years for that conjunction, if not more, you know. And with the lotus flower, this child on the card, and it's looking like a child to me, because again, it can be family-related dynamic, childhood-related dynamic, and I'll pull a chakra card. This could be you with a ex and children. It could be you within a relationship with children, your inner child, your growth, the wounds that you've worked on. But directly relating, you've learned a lesson, but other people, how do I put it? There feels like there's an additional energy in that card, and it's coming through as the lotus flower on this occasion, and especially with the moon. I do feel by this next moon, this situation is going to play out. This person with this energy needs to tame this. And again, I do feel with this energy sometimes when it comes up, when it's overactive, it can be addictions and things to that degree. So there could be a toxic person that has been quite manipulative to you, or an old energy coming up from that memory. But I am feeling for some of you, it's playing out as an individual. And because of the moon energy on the card relating to the previous moon we had, there's also a tornado playing, but you're directly focused. You're like, I'm moving forward. I'm in the moment. I'm creating balance. I have decided already, and I saw 311 before I started tuning into the water signs. And the message was, if you need to cut ties with people, places, and things, this is where you're at spiritually, because this energy that's been going on for way too long, and I'm feeling this, I picked this card as an external clarification. And sacral chakra overactive can be like the devil energy in the tarot. So it can be addictions, you know, it can be, again, Capricorn energy. It's going to come in. Now, you're doing your P's and Q's. You're on your business. You're like, look, I'm trying to do everything in moderation. I've got a lot going on right now. I know what your energy is. I know unless you have something to focus on, you're focusing on me. They may be searching your profiles. They may be searching your statements. I mean, this is nosy business. This is nosy Parkers. People getting up in your business, up in your grill. People having an opinion, text messaging you. Getting up in your business, right? Now, you're learning things. You're perfectifying things, but learning lessons through the process. So you're ascending. You're moving forward. You're looking at life, and you're taking a different approach than you've ever taken it before, and this is where your success is coming from. But people around you and energies around you aren't understanding how you're achieving these things, and they aren't understanding this new version of yourself you are. Then you've got the Five of Wands in reverse. What am I getting from this? The lighting is affecting me. You're not rushing into anything. You can sniff a rat. Even if someone directly comes to you, which I'm feeling there is a conversational piece coming up. I'm going to pull a card. We're going to see in what shape or form this is coming, because this is what's being shown to me. If this is a conversational piece, it'll come up as blue Mercury. If it's not, it'll be from where it's coming. You'll understand what I mean in a minute. Okay. However this conversation's playing out, not really. We're 24 minutes in, but we haven't got into your energy, water signs. We've got into the overall energy of what's playing out in your life and how you're operating and how you're looking at it and what's going on. That's coming up. Now, you already know what this is pertaining to. You will know and you will follow your intuition. So this is something you already deem as coming. When it's switched on, even if it occurs and you have no idea, you will know what this BS is about. Yeah. My dad, when he passed, he came to me in a premonition, and it was so funny, I'll have to tell you. Anyway, I'll get back to that in a minute. I'll read this part and then I'll tell you. So in your intuition, both of these cards are saying the same thing. Either A, you already know what's coming, or B, when it occurs, you're going to know what to do because you're going to smell a rat. This is to do with finances and somebody manipulating. And it can be to do with the fact that someone is feeling that if they manipulate you via cash, you'll bow down to what they want you to do. And it's not, because spiritually you're doing things in moderation. You're like, you can have my money, you can't have my time. I'm not selling my soul to the devil. I'm telling you, because this is all devil energy. From clarification cards external to where you're moving, guys, water signs, to where people are trying to take you back to, and you're like, I've outgrown that, right? Okay, so, yes, my father had been sick for 3 years. He passed away September last year. He had been sick for 3 years, battling. And the funny thing was, my father knew I was psychic. He used to watch my channel, which is kind of cute. You know, he'd say to me, oh, I watched your channel. Anyway, so I used to read cards initially. You know, it started, and Angela, who's on here at the moment, she gave me a reading years ago. I used to read for her. I've been doing it for years. Anyhow, he came to me before passing, and he came to me in a dream. And he happened to be in this room. And initially, when I was going to do On the Couch with Yildiz, I was going to place a couch in this room, which now I have changed it where I can put a television, or I can use another app, and I can come to you with various people through Skype. So if you're interested, yes, you can put an information down below. I will be getting somebody next month on the channel. Anyway, in this dream, both my partner and I, my twin and I, we were in this room, and I was very confused. He was sitting here, and I'd always said to him, you can come over, it's fine, come anytime. He had a blanket around him, and he was very thin. Yes. And so he's sitting there, and he goes, it's so warm in here. And he was always complaining about every location being cold. Obviously, when you become thin, yes, you're cold. And I was looking at him in this dream, and he goes, it's so warm here. And I said, well, I've told you can come anytime. And then he said to me, I said, would you like me to make a room up in here and you can come and go? So obviously this work wasn't here, but what do? I'm spiritual. And yes, I used to work in care, and I used to, funny, because even with clients, I would always know when my time to move on was. So I would get the nurses asking me for readings. I would get the client's family asking me for readings. And I would be with them spiritually to the time they'd transcend. And after that point, I would move to another job. And then there would be some interesting individuals, and they would connect on to me. So it was like I was the ferryman. And that really is 5D, okay? When we tune in psychically, we are helping understand both realms. So anyway, he said to me such, and I said, okay, and I'll set the room up. So when he did get worse and he was hospitalised, I told him this. I said, you visited me in my room. And everyone was very serious, because obviously for me spiritually, because I'm psychic, I see the afterlife as well as I see here. So it's like, well, I'm stuck with you anyway. So, you know, him and I were very similar. We saw similar things. He was psychic. I looked at him and I said, you're going to haunt me, aren't you? And he was like, you know it. So we had a very similar sense of, well, we do. We have a very similar sense of humour. And the week after, I did feel the energy in here. So, yeah, I know he's around me. Back to the read. Anywho. Crowning energy. This is where it gets gnarly, right? Water signs. You're regressing back and looking at what's looming over your head. And this is the way I'm looking at it, from looking at this part and looking to this now. Somebody is holding you accountable. You know, in your mindset initially, you might have thought, gosh, you know, I really let somebody down. And I'm not, yes, this can be betrayal, it can be cheating, it can be any of those energies. But I'm looking at this as you're tuning in to energies in general. Where you stuffed up, where other people stuffed up, where you weren't in your conscious mind, you know, where you weren't potentially creating things in moderation, where there were third-party energies interfering, manipulating, and you're looking at that and going, oh, this has been going on for more. You know, When I say we didn't start the fire, when we look at war, for instance, you know, because we put a tag on it, doesn't mean to say it hasn't been going on for years. It has been. So was racism, so was other things. So this is the energy as well. When you've had that awakening, you kind of realize it has been going on forever and a day, but you hadn't acknowledged it. So you cut those cords spiritually only when you can directly look at it and go, wow, I've just had this epiphany. So you had empath for these people. They could have been family members. They could have been exes. They could have been your children. It could have been workplaces, and, you know, a person helped you out, but you've been holding yourself accountable for that for so many years, to the point it's third eye, man, you know. And it's people then, if they spiritually haven't upgraded, it's like in the old days wearing the A for adultery on your shirt till the day you die. Now, we can't turn time back, right? People make mistakes. But if you're paying your penance and you're moving forward and you're doing what you can to bring yourself back to moderation, clean your act up, get your life together and pay it forward, by holding you in that energy accountable, what they're not understanding is people do change, but they want you to change, but they don't want you to change. So it's kind of an oxymoron. And you're now confused and perplexed. I can't even say the word. So it's because of the abscess. You're looking at it going, I'm using my intuition. I'm tuning into this and I'm saying it for what it is. Look, you know why you hold yourself to that? Because initially you believe it. So it is permission-based. Okay, well, I got to this because of that, and however it went down, whatever it was. But when we're holding ourselves accountable for a past tense situation, and we do realize we can't turn time back, we can apologize. We can then show by actions we've changed. Takes two to tango, right? And then we can turn over that new leaf and proceed forward. After a while, even if you're going, I have to do this because I did this, I have to do this because I've done this, at some point you'll get peeved at that and you'll go, I've paid my dues. No, I don't. But subconsciously, potentially, you might have been punishing yourself, as well as externally, these people are doing it. But once you cut that off, they're then coming to this place of, and you might have been, and it might have been an egoic mind that, you know, some ego's coming through, right? You might have thought, gee, because I've done X, Y, and Z, I'm bound by contract till the day I die. I've got to pay my penance. Now, hopefully, you'll know how this relates to yours. Where you're moving and what you're moving towards with the spiritual work you've done on this. Yeah. You do get to that. You learn lessons through it. Everything does happen for a reason, but there is external situations, but it's you're thinking of it and other people are thinking it, and it's like looping in a circle. But this can be a scenario coming back, and this is why I'm tuning into it, what's been shown to me. You do have the Ten of Cups, okay? Got the Ten of Cups coming through in the upright. So what you're moving towards, and this is overall what I'm tuning into, everything that you've been doing from that moment forward has to be to better the situation. But this person's intent wasn't for you to succeed at that. So they had no energy or will for you to do that. But their mindset isn't, and some of them might not even know that they're doing that. They may actually feel energetically, no, you did this. How do I explain it? Meanwhile, you know, different buildings are being built. People are now on airplanes, whereas that was back when the dinosaurs occurred. But you can't teach that. But while you're entertaining that vibration, that person doesn't have to evolve. So you've reached your epiphany. You've looked at it, wrongdoings, etc., and you're going, I'm sorry. You're dealing with it. Only to the point selling your soul to that devil, because you're looking at them like they're the victim. And both are, because when you don't know you're doing something wrong, and sometimes we do know we're doing it wrong, you hopefully learn after the fact, because you get a karmic retribution. So you're going to learn at some point. And then if this person holds you accountable till death do you come, they're killing you, right? But they're killing themselves because they're not letting it go. So instead of focusing on the future, they're focusing on the past at all times and hoping you'll live there with them. So you've evolved now, and you're leaving these people behind, and they can't understand why you're doing it, so they're holding on. They've got way too much time on their hands. You're moving towards your Ten of Cups. You're like, look, I'm working hard. I'm showing up. I want to get fit. I want to have fun. I want to be happy. I'm having it. Not I want. I'm going to. I am. This is what I've worked for. This is what I was made for. You can't. I'm sorry. Okay, well, I have to leave you behind. And the 311 is about, look, cutting the dead wood. It's not you wanted to do that. These people didn't evolve with you. Some people are in your life for a lifetime. Some people are in your life for a moment. And it doesn't mean they're less relevant. They got you to where you are, right? And then you got the Ten of Pentacles. Everything you've put into your life, you did it. Okay, you did it. Even if you dug yourself in a hole, you did it, you can dig yourself out. And that's with everyone. So you're seeing what you're truly made of, but you're also seeing who these individuals are made of. And this is you cutting to the truth of it, seeing the truth of it. Your outcome cards. You've got the Knight of Wands in reverse. This is who's coming. This is what they're doing, right? Providing you react in a way, anyone who's coming towards you with the foolish choices you made, it's the old residue energy, but this is the mindset and this is my advice for the way you handle it. And this is potentially how you can articulate it to the individuals. They might be coming back expecting you not to change, and it's really starting to piss you off. You're like, this is what I've been working for. This is what I've been seeking. This is what I'm worth. This is inner child with the yellow. Some of you might have been trying to rectify and balance out a situation that looked messy, but this person didn't want you to succeed in that, so they created obstacles through every step. You have got tired of these obstacles, so instead you have walked through them, you have walked around them, you've looked behind them and upside down and underneath them, and they don't want you to find a solution because they want to repeat the story. You don't want to repeat it. If you go down this lane, and this was the clarification card, if you want that happy outcome, you're going to have to be strong and call it what it is and deal with it head on. Head on, because this person's energy from the past, be it was yours or their fault, you know, the story's over, but the story has not been completed. So the way you have to relate to it is, now, are you going to live that story? And this has come up in my clients' roads as well. And I do know because the nodes are in Cancer and Capricorn, obviously, with water signs, yes, it's relating. So yes, some of these signs, astrologically speaking, all of them in the elements will relate, depending on the placement of astrology. If you have worked on your shit, if some BS is coming to you and holding you there, drop the dead wood, because you're just going to be repeating a karmic pattern. You're also not going to help them learn a lesson. If they are part of your story and they can move with you and they're going to move flexibly and understand they've got their world, you've got yours, and they're respecting your world, it can come with you. If they're not part of your story. They're holding you back. And they're holding you like the devil card. I own you. I own you at night. I paid my taxes, okay? I paid the ferryman. Any questions while I'm here? And tonight or tomorrow, I will do Earth and Fire in what? I don't know, but I'll do Earth and Fire. Okay, so stay tuned. I'll put these in the rates. Love and light. Thank you for joining me in this very interesting channeling. I kind of like this corner. It helps me. It's nice and comfortable. So please feel free after the video to comment because it helps bump it up in the algorithm of YouTube. I love you, YouTube. Share it with a friend if they're a water element or dealing with a water element. Comment how it directly relates so that if a YouTuber falls on it, they go, is this worth my while? The thing is, sometimes as readers on YouTube, we want to keep in the energy of being authentic and being able to tune. But because, unfortunately, some of us do need to look at the analytics, we become a bit too 3D and it's frustrating. So I depend on you guys to work with me as a tribe, that you know, when you tune in, I mean, they teach us how to actually jump in and communicate, you know, elaborate on what the reading is. And it's very dishwater. I'm sorry, I don't do that. So some of my reads you might find she's not getting to the punchline, right? The thing is, when you're a psychic, no readings happen that way because you get the entry to the door, you're shown an image, and you build upon it. So if you're expecting instant gratification, okay, you need to work with the person and allow the energy to flow through. And some of you could be missing very valuable information because a lot of my channelings, especially when I'm doing live sessions and I'm tuning into the astrology, it comes in various formats. It comes like, Giggle, you can explain. Some of it's astrology, some of it's psychic, some of it is direct experience I've lived through my spiritual awakening. And I do answer your questions. So you might look at that video and think, oh God, I've touched on it and it's airy-fairy, but this is the point, you know, channels, if you want us to go too commercialized, we can go that way. But if you actually giving a person an opportunity in investing in readers, and this is really by 2020 what you need to be doing, you always change, okay? You're going to change, and the things and where you're at spiritually on your path, they're going to evolve. But find good quality channels that you like and then invest in them and help that channel stay there. Because if you go back to it later, because of YouTube algorithms, it's not going to be there. And if we're always focusing on the algorithm, we're missing the process of doing this. And this is why we're here for. Love and light. Thank you for your support, your donations, your shares, subscribes. And I'll tune into things shortly. Love and light, guys. Bye.